Why aren't estate and letting agents authentic? Today, I'm joined by Chris and Juli Poulton, who are estate and letting agents from Sunderland in the northeast. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Chris, you said before you switched the cameras on that you didn't think estate agents were authentic enough in our business. Why is that? Talk to me.
I think there's a perception about what estate agents are, and it's almost like people feel as though they've got to get into this character, this role, and they're forgetting that actually every interaction is completely unique. That's one of the amazing things about our industry. We get to see people in every stage of their life. They're getting married, they're having kids, the kids have moved out, they're downsized, and they need a sleepover room for the grandkids. Sadly, someone's passed on, someone's got a new job. So we get to see them in all of these different kind of scenarios. And we assume that everything's this one generic process, and we try and fit this bog standard process and almost try and be a catch-all for everything. And my view is if you're a catch-all for everything, you generally miss most of it. And because people are looking for something authentic, but they just don't expect it in agency because it's historically not been delivered in agency. So for me, I think people have a misconception about what they need to do or how they need to act or how they need to speak in order to be an estate agency. And I don't think there's enough bosses, and I include myself in this. I'm not talking about corporate versus independent versus franchise versus self-employed. There's not enough bosses that just recruit and allow the people to be themselves. And when they do, we then get this crazy scenario where in order to be authentic, you've got to be different or bold or radical. And actually, if you're just a member of staff that comes to work, who loves our job, who loves speaking with the customers, who doesn't have aspirations to run their own business, just wants to do a really, really good job, suddenly they feel as though they can't say that on their LinkedIn profile because they're then seen as, oh, you don't have any ambition.
Yeah, I think that's it, being authentic for authentic's sake or perceived as being authentic on LinkedIn is a real...
There's people out there that go on courses on how to be authentic.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and in order to be authentic, I need to stand out, or I need to be this person who challenges the industry. It's like, no,
just
be yourself.
I always say to people when they do the video is just be yourself, because they'll soon find out if you don't.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so frustrating because there's so many amazing estate agents out there that nobody's ever heard of. And probably nobody ever will.
Within the industry.
They work within a small little branch. You know, they've done it for 25, 30 years, and they're absolutely brilliant. But because of the organisation that they're in, be it a corporate structure or whatever, they are typecast online as jobsworths. You know, sorry, but it's absolute garbage. There's so much ego and fluff and stuff. And yes, I understand that you've got to sell your model. You know, if that's what you're doing, and you've got to promote that and make it look like something that people want. But I don't think it should be done to the detriment and making people feel as though they don't fit in the industry, because then we will lose really good people in the industry.
We've already lost lots of people.
This industry, I'm sorry, but this industry doesn't survive on the mavericks. There will always be mavericks in every industry. There'll always be absolute muppets in every industry. An industry survives by the ones who are doing the day-to-day job. My business, if it relied on me, would be absolutely shot. My business relies not on the steady eddies, because I think that's a misconception, but the people who are just really, really good at what they do. And we should want them to be themselves. We shouldn't force them to be these people who they're not.
Thank you for your time today.